Hi, this is Dana and I'm back with another video. This time trying to get on a topic or at least to sort of find my way back to topics. It's very hard to choose topics because there's been so much, and this has been a very intense spiritual journey. The hardest thing I ever done, I think, particularly in spiritual fighting, but also in my 3D life. So I asked guidance what to speak on in this video, and I think God tries to take me back to topics slowly, gradually. So He guided me to talk about something not so specific. So I will try to be clear, but it's more of a very general, high perspective approach. So what I will say is the following. I'm trying to draw conclusions from my spiritual journey. With each spiritual journey, basically you close up a cycle. So the spiritual journey is very important, and it's important, again, I emphasize, to leave the astral space where you usually live. It opens opportunities for you to break bondages. Sometimes, for example, I learned in this, I understood better in this second spiritual journey what God was doing, actually in the first one as well, but I didn't get it at that time. Literally what He does is, like, you do spiritual fighting with certain people in your life, right? But at certain points, if you do well the spiritual fighting, you reach your limits. If the other person does not want to evolve spiritually, does not want to break bondage, then you reach a limit to how far you can go in that particular relation, be it that we're talking about one single individual or multiple individuals at your workplace, in your family, in your neighborhood, whatever, yeah? Now, when you take a spiritual journey, God will take you to different places where identical bondages were created, yeah, on different people that you never met ever in your life, yeah, and you will have there the same spiritual identities like the ones in your own situation. So let's say, for example, in my situation, there are, I don't know, 5 people involved, yeah. The same 5 people you find in a place where God takes you, but they're totally different individuals in 3D, but they carry the same spiritual identity as the 5 people in your own situation. And the 2 locations geographically are different, yeah? So it's the same storyline, is the same bondage. People involved carry the same spiritual identities, yeah? So you find the same thing, and God will make sure to bring you to that place to meet those people, and you will engage with those 5 individuals with whom you reached the limit of the spiritual fighting or spiritual learning or spiritual evolution or even spiritual healing, because spiritual fighting at the end of the day has the purpose of transmutation and healing, yeah? You transmute, you close portals of darkness, you transmute darkness, you heal yourself and the others. So basically, if the other individuals don't want to work on themselves, don't want to heal, don't want to break bondage, don't want to take certain steps which you need to do, then, and you still want to go forward, God will take you to another place where you will find exactly the same situation, exactly the same spiritual identities, but different people, different country, different location. And you will have the opportunity when you meet those, you will recognize the identities. And I told this even after the first spiritual journey, that I was amazed that I found in Chile people, so imagine Eastern Europe and Chile are exactly the opposite geographical locations on the globe. And I found individuals who literally said the same words as the ones that were in my country. So you literally find exactly the same situation. And you get another chance to move forward with your bondage breaking, with your healing, with your spiritual fighting, with your learning. Because all of these processes literally teach you something. So you evolve not only energetically, but you evolve in the sense of what you are able to understand, to know, the abilities you develop, and so on. And so this is important. The spiritual journey is important for this reason. Yeah. Everything, as I said, it's a process. And if certain individuals refuse to move along and they block the process, God will move you to another location where you can continue your journey, your movement forward, your learning, and your evolution. Yeah, because this only shows that, you know, you have a choice. You do have a freedom to choose with free will. If you do spiritual fighting, if you engage, if you just complain, or if you just sit and feel sorry for yourself and just do not take action, basically there is a window of opportunity. People need to know this. So there are a number of people in this world which carry the same identities, yeah? And if you refuse to do what you're supposed to be doing, God will work with you for a while, but at some point, somebody has to do it. Because there are a number of forces which must be rolled back. If you refuse continuously to engage and to evolve and to take action, God will move to another individual who carries the same identity, and somebody else will do it. For example, even manifestation. Manifestation is a matter of energy work, but it's also a matter of will. If you are willing to do certain things in order to get certain resources and to create certain things. Now, if you refuse to do it, be it that you're lazy, be it that you have too deep wounds, be it that you're supposed to do that with somebody else and the other person doesn't want to help, for any reason that you literally don't do it, God at some point will have to move forward. It doesn't mean God will abandon you. God will still wait for you to move, but you will move on something else, with somebody else, because God will move the person who wants to move forward in another location to find different people with same identity, spiritual identity, but willing to move, willing to do certain things. Yeah, it can also be that you are exhausted, or you're too scared, too afraid of, or the choices you must make, the actions you must take are too hard for you for a number of reasons, that you have to give up too much and you're not willing to, that your traumas are too deep and there's nobody around to help you heal, and so on. Anyhow, the point is, there's a window of opportunity, and you must take that window of opportunity and act. Because if you don't, then just by not choosing to act, it's equal with choosing, I don't know how to say, to perpetuate the same situation, to perpetuate and to leave the bondage, which means at some point another karmic cycle will be open. It's a choice you made by not moving. Yeah. So if you choose that, God will have to move to another place or to move the other one in another place where those forces can be rolled back for them, because they want to evolve. Yeah. So this is important to know, that God actually invested the same spiritual identity in multiple people, just because the same bondage has been created in multiple locations. I explained this in a video in which I talk about Yalta, and I explained this, that contracts were exchanged and sold on individuals, and those contracts basically are bondages, because through these bondages certain divine rights are gained, among which is the right to have statehood. Many of the spiritual identities that have high-ranking lineage in divine realm, they come from royal background, so they have royal rights. Yeah, one of the royal right is to lead a state, to create statehood. Yeah, not everybody has that. So anybody that made a bondage on a royal stole many different rights, among which the right for statehood, the right to lead. Yeah. So again, for this reason, at Yalta, basically, where the power of balance was established, I explained in that video better than I was not prepared now to talk about that, but God is pushing me to say it. So the balance of power was established by selling these contracts, multiplying. So basically, let's say you are, let's say, Queen Maria and King David, and you have divine rights of royalty, among which is statehood. They created bondages on these two identities, royals, and they sold contracts to 5 geographical places, let's call them this way, which wanted to be independent, but they had no statehood right among their divine rights. They had no divine rights of statehood. So for this reason, they paid money, and they received a contract to feed on certain individuals who are royals, and to steal from them the divine right for statehood. This is Yalta. This is the hidden bondage which literally established the balance of power in the world in Yalta. This was done also in the Roman Empire by Caesar. It's not new, but it has been done throughout history. So for this reason, there are many different geographical locations and countries which were established without having divine rights, but stealing divine rights from royals, paying contracts on those individuals. Yeah? This is important, especially for those of you who are royals and go through this, because the bondage breaking you have to go through is obviously harder than many others, and the spiritual fighting for you will be tougher as compared to others, of course. So the point is, you have in different places the same bondage, simply because there are individuals which this is what they do. They create bondages and they sell contracts, literally. They sell contracts, they sell that bondage and recreate that bondage in different places of the world, sending certain number of identities, of entities of darkness to feed on those royals and to create these leaders, fake leaders, which literally feed on the true leaders who are royals and have divine rights. And they don't need to feed on anyone to lead. Yeah. But this is known, and anyone that engaged with the political parties in this 3D realm, they know that they use certain work of darkness in order to gain popular support and so on. Yeah. Anyhow, the most important thing to remember is that you find the same circumstances, the same situation, the same bondage in different parts of the world, because contracts were sold, the bondages were sold and recreated in different parts of the world. Hence, while this brings more darkness on 3D, it also gives you an opportunity to know that you can break that bondage in the place where you are, but you can also travel in the spiritual journey to go to those other places which have the same type of bondage, and you can break that bondage with individuals whom you never met, if those around you refuse to share you, to join you in breaking bondage. Yeah? Anyhow, this is important. God, I see that God is pushing me to say this, so it seems to be important. What I wanted to say was a little bit different. Namely, it refers to the same thing, but that upgrades in energy terms, upgrades on Earth, which by now everybody noticed, energetically speaking. I'm sorry, my dog is pushing me and is pulling me. He wants to play, so I'm trying to make him be quiet. So upgrades are a result of these actions of bondage breaking. Yours or other individuals in other locations. Yeah. So those royals, when they break bondage, for example, if one individual is royal and he breaks the bondage, there are multiple countries, multiple locations which will feel the consequence, because all those forces will be rolled back, not only for his bondage in that place, but all the others will feel it too. Yeah? So it's a huge transmutation. And this is an encouragement for all of you who are royals. And as I said before, you have a tougher spiritual fighting and more difficult situation, but then also the reward is bigger because you transmute huge darkness. And for this, God, of course, elevates you, upgrades you, and the reward is important. So upgrades are the result of our actions. Don't imagine that God sits somewhere and sends energy from time to time. No, God works with individuals to do bondage breaking, and as a result of the transmutation and the healing which is being done from the individuals involved in that bondage breaking, that is the upgrade, the energy upgrade, which we all feel. So somebody is working really hard. When you feel an energy upgrade, please know somebody worked really hard to do bondage breaking, and sometimes went through horrible situations in order to achieve that. Yeah, so I think this is important to note, to notice, just because you cannot always sit tight and wait for the energetic upgrade so you can elevate. That energy upgrade was generated by an individual just like you, who put the spiritual fighting first and who sacrificed a lot in order to achieve certain elevation, certain bondage breaking, certain healing, certain transmutation. This is why you got to feel the energy upgrade. It comes from God, but God is able to do that because that individual did the bondage breaking. It is divine grace, but the divine grace doesn't come out of the blue. The divine grace comes if you take certain action and you do certain good deed. is the same with the energy upgrade. Yeah, so it's important to know, because everybody should be doing this. You cannot be sitting and waiting that somebody else does it. We all have to do it. That's important to know. Of course, you will learn through the spiritual fighting, and it's amazing every time when I go on a spiritual journey. Of course, I'm at a different level, so I get to see the same things, but I can see so much more. So another thing that I want to point out that I learned now is that there are certain knowledge and truth and information which is available to you only when you reach certain level of elevation. Because I did the same in the previous journey, the same thing. I'm not gonna enter into details, but then I didn't understand the same. Now, so in the second spiritual journey, I keep going, oh, this is what you meant. This is what you mean. So it was amazing, because you get to see more, you get to understand more, even from the same action, even from the same people that you meet. So it's important that you do this. And again, certain things are revealed to you only at a certain stage. It is this way. So it's important to understand. So another thing that I wanted to point out was that everything it's a process. A karmic cycle is 7 years. If you start a karmic cycle, most likely you must go through the 7 years. Unless you have all the spiritual fighting done, and then you can close it up and somebody tries to open a cycle on you. But if you enter blindly in another karmic cycle, it most likely lasts 7 years. I know from experience that you can close earlier, but there are portals which don't close. So you can end the karmic cycle for you in terms of bondage breaking. So you can finish the bondage breaking earlier. Yeah, but the portals, you will close them at certain times. So the attacks will continue to come until they reach the certain time when they expire. You know, of course you react differently because you broke the bondage, you did the healing, so you can, but you're still gonna have to go through the spiritual fighting against those entities which come from those portals, because those portals will be closed only at a certain time when the process is over. Yeah, well, in the first year of the 7, you will deal with those attacks differently. If, let's say, after 5 years or 3 years, you finish the spiritual fighting, the bondage breaking, the healing, then, of course, you will manage the attacks differently. You will be on top of it. Yeah? But you still have to put up with it until it ends. It's a process. So I learned this, that many things are just part of a process. So you need to understand the process. The patterns and the process are extremely important. And this is also why it's important to make the move at the right time, because if you set off a process, it takes time until you can close it off. And it's a pity. It's a pity because sometimes it's just you're so close to the decision, you know, and you just keep postponing it. If you have a good argument for postponing, that's one thing. But if you just postpone it because you don't feel comfortable or you don't want to deal with it, then that's being lazy. And that's not, maybe, not good enough to justify the fact that you and everybody else will have to go through that process once again. Yeah? So this is also very important. The rules of astral which govern energy, and this is one of them, the process. And these are just, as I said, just general terms, just things that I wanted to draw from my this spiritual journey, this second one. I already posted a lot of articles, prophetic articles, and I posted them on YouTube as well, on the community board, so you can read them there. I'm not going to repeat those unless God guides me to. But otherwise, I am trying in the videos to bring new information to light. And this is part of it. Now, all of this, it's much about the spiritual dimension and the management of dealing with both spiritual dimension, but also the 3D dimension, which I already emphasized in the previous video, namely that you need to take action in 3D. There is no spiritual fighting just for the sake of it. You must bring outcome. So you must take 3D action. You must, I encourage everyone, you must bring to prosecution as much as possible from your spiritual fighting in bondage breaking. Personally, I have 3 prosecution cases open. I just opened one last month because, as I explained in the writing which I posted earlier, certain individuals broke into my house, and literally there's an idiotic doppelganger of copying me, impersonating me, together with her, I don't know how to call him, but her lover, but he's married to somebody else. It's a complication here, which only these idiotic doppelgangers can create in life. Anyhow, these individuals, together with some family individuals, or at least they call themselves family, which broke into my house. And it's a prosecution case, and I'm moving forward with it. You have to do this because I explained in the previous video. This is how you dismantle 3D. And it's not only, it brings dual benefits. When I submitted the official complaint to the police, I saw the most amazing spiritual outcome, namely that a huge veil was lifted from all the male from lineage. They started seeing certain things. They started seeing Akashic records. I'm telling you, because this idiotic doppelganger who created this situation declared those individuals as being part of her lineage. So because of this, they were not able to see the Akashic records. You know, and when I submitted that police complaint, literally that veil lifted, and they saw the truth. I'm not going to enter into details, but I'm giving you just an example. So this was one example in which I had no clue this is going to come. I was just very determined to take action and to put everyone in their place, to take back what's mine, and to put them, to set the record straight, and to push them out of their, out of my space, out of my property. And I achieved that, but I never expected this kind of huge outcome on spiritual level on so many other people who were not involved in the break-in, you know? So it's amazing. It's amazing. And nobody tells you, and you do not know. This is why you need to move forward, because many things, you shouldn't hesitate, because many things, nobody tells you. Nobody tells you what will come if you do this, you know? You just see it as you do it. And this was the case for each and every prosecution case which I filed. with each of them was the case. Something spectacular was revealed, which I had no clue of when I filed the complaint, you know. So I insist on this. But also because you must take back in 3D all that was stolen from you. This is how you dismantle 3D. These are your resources, and it's not only yours, because as I said, there are many other individuals which carry the same identity as you. So it affects everyone, but it affects the 5D as well. Many people don't hear or see God, but this is why. This is why. Because of all these bondages, you must break them. You must take back your resources. All of them, all of your resources, your car, your house, your land, your also ranks and status and so on, your money, everything has your energy footprint. Has your energy footprint. It's a portal between you and the divine realm. They feed from that. This is how they sell contracts. This is how they multiply and they create bondages in other places. Anyhow, I'm not gonna go further because it's 31 minutes and it took forever for the other video to upload. So you must go forward with the prosecution. I'm not budging on any of the prosecution cases which I filed. I'm not budging. I'm moving forward on all of them. I have no doubt that I will reach the desired outcome when it's the appropriate time. So far, I already achieved huge outcome in many dimensions from each of them, and I'm moving forward with all of it. Regardless who gets affected, who gets upset, I don't care. They should have thought before. This is another thing, another astral rule, namely that what you don't stop and you don't punish yourself continues. So this is how portals open at you. If you're not determined enough, if you don't have strong willpower, if you allow others to feed on you, the portal will stay open. They will others, and not only that, those will feed on you. Others who want to feed on you will come through that portal. Because it's a pattern. It's a pattern. A pattern created opens portals. Means many entities and many individuals with the same behavior will come to you, will be drawn to you. Why? Because the portal is open. You know, it's as simple as this. You think you make the decision only regarding one individual from your life. And you say, I don't want to upset so-and-so. Yes, but if you don't want to upset so-and-so who stole from you, somebody else will come and steal again. Because you allow that pattern to be created. I am sorry for whoever feels uncomfortable with all of these unpopular decisions. But you must do it simply because this is why you came, man. This is why you came. You did not come to feel comfortable. I'm sorry. Every time when people are, saying this is too harsh, no, you didn't. This is a war. You did not come to feel comfortable. You did not come to feel, that you want to feel comfort at some point only in order to heal your energy. That's different. But not to sit on your ass and do nothing so you won't upset other people. But those people who get upset maybe are exactly those who you came here to fight against. So, of course, it's your choice. You can repeat the 3D experience. I remind everyone, I am talking from the perspective of my perspective, the perspective of the individual who refuses to repeat the 3D. I am going back to God, and I'm taking Lucky with me, and I'm not repeating this experience with death and the reincarnation and stuff like this. No, I'm done. It's enough to go through this horrible experience once. I want it over. I'm gonna stop here though, because it's 35 minutes and I don't know how long it's gonna take this to upload. Okay, so I guess I'm not gonna sum up because it's already too long. If hopefully you paid attention. If not, you just listen to the video once again. Okay, so I'll see you in the next one.